Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
Hello, 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 and welcome QCat and the Raiders. Welcome in to the Makers Vodcast. Welcome in. Perfect timing. Exactly. Oh, thank you. QCat, how did your stream go? Turn off the music. This is a non-music stream, this one. Horribly. How did it go horribly? It was absolutely amazing. Your stream was superb. You even had that amazing hype train. I saw it. Everyone was super embarrassing. Never. No. Mart Cards, hello, Zornaf. Oh, absolutely brilliant. They forced you to read a maths textbook. Oh dear. It's QCat Raid. Exactly. Welcome in. And Drive's here. How are you doing today, Drive? I hope you're well. Oh, we've got a lovely show for everyone tonight. We do have a lovely show planned. Got an amazing guest that we're going to be having on tonight. It's this laser wheat crustaceans, or phaser Greek crustaceans, and layer wrong crustaceans. Is this this other way of saying my name? Laser tarnations. That's an interesting way, Drive. An interesting way. This is how we're starting it off tonight. How many ways can we say my name? And Sarnaf has taser leak frustrations. Oh. It's going there. It's totally going there, guys. Totally going there. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Laser Speak Corporation, Grazer Sneak Foundations, and Leopard Games License. Doing well. I'm doing well. Everyone is doing awesome. Oh. Tonight we're going to be testing out in a different category. Tonight we're in the talk show and podcasts section. Tonight we're in the actual section on Twitch that we're supposed to be in for this sort of show. We're actually going to try hide and seek cessations. There we go. And the wonderful guest of Compressed Spine. Uncle Travelling Mac. That is an amazing name. Welcome in. Welcome to the show. Greenswood Creations, how are you doing? Oh, right. Yeah. So guys, we're not going to get distracted by other way of saying names. We're going to get into things. We're totally going to get into things, and we're going to bring out the absolutely amazing guest for tonight. Sorry, I just had to unmute. He is the stew ball king, the man. You hear him already. He lives on the sea. He, is an absolutely astounding woodworker. You must be following if you're not already. You need to go and check him out if you're not. Guys, welcome on to the Makers Vodcast, the one, the only, ObsessedPirate. Welcome in. Oh, welcome in.
Hello!
Guys, how goes it tonight? Pirate?
It is going phenomenal.
Brilliant.
Excited to be here. Excited.
Brilliant. Oh, everyone is loving you, getting all the hypes in the chat.
Well, I hope there's some hype, at least one hype.
Yeah, we've got some hype. We've got loads of hype. All the hype. You know, Mark Cords was wondering if you were SpongeBob for a second, but no, you're better than SpongeBob.
I'm not yellow or absorbent as could be, so, and I definitely don't live in a pineapple under the sea. So,
You've just got an amazing workshop instead.
it's I.
Well, we're looking behind you and going, I'd like that workshop. You've got a few good tools in there.
I don't have like an 87-foot CNC machine like you do, so I mean.
Yeah, but you've got that really nice table saw and that really nice lathe, and that.
Okay. Maybe a few nice tools, a couple.
Yeah, they're wondering why. Well, here's the first question: where did the name come from? Is probably how it's going to get to understand why you don't have a beard or a patch or and no parrot.
So it's almost as if it's a worked lettuce story, because back very first when Xbox had the Xbox Live and you were picking your Xbox Live name, I've always been obsessed with pirates, and it just so happened I was looking just for pirate as my Xbox Live name, but unfortunately that was already picked. So I did I picked pirate, and it came up with suggestions, and I was like, obsessed pirate. I'm obsessed with pirates. Let's go with it. And I have had it since the inception of Xbox Live for many, many moons. So I just kept everything, just kept on going with Obsessed Pirate. So when I was setting up all my platforms with like Mixer and with Twitch, I just kept on going with Obsessed Pirate. I mean, even with my game accounts on like Epic and all those the Call of Duty platforms, all those is all Obsessed Pirate. So I just ran with it.
Oh, so it's a very similar to the worked lettuce. So you at least chose the pirate part of it. Yeah.
Yes.
So you've got and then so what's the obsession with pirates?
I mean, it's just a phenomenal time in history where people could it's with the pirate, it's like, oh, you're the pirate captain. Like, no, actually the crew voted and chose the captain, but the captain didn't have as much power as you would think on a pirate crew. I mean, granted, he did make the ultimate decision on big stuff, but it just wasn't, I'm the pirate captain. No, well, you had to be voted by the crew, and they lived the way they wanted to. They sailed around. The sea was their life, and they would go and take what they wanted. Sometimes by force, or they would just raise their pirate flag, and the ship would just give up and be like, okay, we've seen your flag or heard about you. Go ahead and just take our stuff and leave us be.
Perfect. So yeah, that's why pirates are cool. Totally why pirates are cool.
Absolutely.
Oh, bro. Absolutely bro. So so you kind of hit on it already. You're not a Twitch original.
No. I was a Mixer original, and back when I was on the Mixer, I did video games. I started out streaming video games straight from my Xbox, no computer. Mixer had it where you could stream straight from your Xbox, and plugged in I did straight from there, and then eventually I plugged in a webcam. I had one webcam and streaming straight from the Xbox, and then I turned into where I had a little tablet sitting next to me, so I could, if I did have somebody in stream chatting, I could see what they were saying. 99.9% of the time I was streaming to no one, because I mean everybody knows that the video game streaming is a cutthroat world, and but I still enjoyed it. I did it because why not? And then I graduated to my lovely wife bought me a really nice PC. So I upgraded to the PC and a few monitors, and I was doing that. I had a nice mic, the Stream Deck, everything super nice. And I was doing that for a while. I was gaining a little traction, and then I did the restream where I was doing on and Twitch for the video games. And then all of a sudden I was on Twitch, and I found this wonderful community of makers and crafters. And I was like, wait a second, I have a workshop. I can do that. So I packed up my webcams and my Stream Deck and moved it out to the workshop. And I started doing the workshop streams. And I'll tell you what, the growth I saw, even to this day, doing the makers and crafters and doing out of the workshop, I never imagined I would have this kind of a community and people that regularly show up to my stream, and all the new people just to see me make stew bowls.
We got the stew bowls later, don't worry. Totally get onto all those stew bowls. So yeah. So yeah, we'll take things back to the Mixer days.
Okay.
Because that's it was part of the reason why I wanted you on. Apart from the fact that you're just an amazing maker, I don't want to get all the amazing makers on because but you've got this difference of kind of view coming from the Mixer side of things, coming into Twitch, even and then also that kind of gamer to makers side as well. So Mixer as a whole, how did you find Mixer to kind of start with? And what got you into doing gaming on Mixer?
Well, I played with an amazing. He used to stream on Mixer and do restream on Twitch. He doesn't stream anymore. His name was Pro Dies a Lot, and I played with him a lot on Sea of Thieves. And one day we were playing on Sea of Thieves, and he's like, "Hey, I started streaming," and he's like, "You should check it out. I stream on Mixer." And they just made it really easy for people on Xbox because you could do it straight from your Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have to have any special equipment. So I was like, sure, why not? I'll try it. And he's the one that showed me, that you could stream straight from your Xbox, which made it extremely easy for people that didn't have a lot of fancy computer or anything like that. So they made it easy that way. So that, kudos to Mixer for doing that. Because if you had the Xbox, boom, straight from your Xbox, Bob's your uncle, you're good to go. In general, to try and grow yourself and become, everybody always seeks to be a partner and be known or whatever. They made it incredibly, the wickets you had to meet to get subscribers and stuff was incredibly hard. For that, a lot of people were like, Mixer is really hard to make partner or something like that, and then people were like, oh, try Restream and do Mixer and Twitch at the same time. And that's what I did. And then, of course, when Mixer died off even before Mixer completely died off, I was straight Twitch because I started doing makers and crafters. And, Twitch is like, you do this, you're affiliate. We don't care, which was awesome. I mean, in the makers and crafters section, all of a sudden we find out somebody had their first stream yesterday and 3 days later, they're affiliate because we're like, go check this person out. Go check them out.
Yeah. It's that bit of, Twitch does seem to have that bit of going, yeah, let's, here's the rules. There's these hoops you jump through and you're done. But from what you're saying, Mixer just had like, I think this is a hoop. Maybe it may have some flames.
You had to have like some 3,000 followers and, so many people in your chat at the same time. And then you had to apply, and then it could still deny you, even though they say this is what they require. But then they're like, not really.
Yeah. Well, you can still get that here with like the partner project,
Yes.
But, at least with affiliate, there's that kind of, jump point where at least there's a, there's a path to get emotes and, get subs and get all the bits from a bit of monetization if you want that side of things on your stream, which is great.
It's not about the monetization or subscriptions. It's the emotes. Everybody wants the emotes.
Exactly. Everyone does want the emotes, and that's, and that's the fun bit, and coming up with those emote designs.
Yes.
Oh, but,
and then change them accordingly to what your chat wants.
Exactly. So when's the stew ball one? Have you got that going yet? Or
I do. There is a stew bowl emote. I got some work to do on it, but I got rid of the hammer one and replaced it with the stew bowl one. But I got a little work to do to refine it and make it a little bit better. But there is one.
Oh, brilliant. So so you started kind of moving over to, well, you're restreaming to, was that, so when you say restreaming, was that you were streaming a Mixer and then 24 hours you were then streaming onto Twitch, or were you co-streaming? So it was streaming at the same time?
It was like a co-stream. It was both at the same time.
Right. That's fine. Because I know there's issues with that nowadays.
I don't care.
Yeah. Because you're not supposed to, guys. TOS. That TOS thing.
Don't do as I do.
Yeah.
Do as I say.
So, as you were saying, you were playing video games over on Mixer. But then over here, you were like, nah, I'm not going to play video games, right?
Yes, pretty much. As soon as I found the makers and crafters section, I didn't even know it existed. I was just browsing one day and found it, and I'm like, why haven't I been doing this with my life? Because I'd come out to the workshop. I'd do video game streaming. I'd spend some time in the workshop. I'd have the radio going or whatever, and just doing my thing out here. And then I found that, and I'm like, packed up all my streaming stuff and moved it to the garage.
Oh, so you've been doing woodwork for a while. How long have you been doing woodwork?
Ooh, a long time. Still a novice. I would not say I'm a master at anything. I would say I dabbled here and there for 20 plus years. It's been a good while. I would here and there. Even when I was a young kid, not even barely a teenager, I would do. Me and my brother made our own headstones for out of plywood for Halloween decorations in our front yard one year. So some sort of woodworking.
Yeah, I've got a picture up here that you sent me.
Yes.
So who's this?
So that is my mom's father. We called him Granddaddy, and so that's me and my brother, my twin brother, right there in his arms. We would go over to my grandparents every Sunday for for lunch when I was a young kid growing up. And if something needed to be fixed, we would take it to him. He could fix anything, he could make anything. And that is what really got me into that bug that I could fix and make stuff. Watching him and knowing that you could fix stuff yourself and make stuff yourself. But that right there, I mean, he's no longer with us, but I mean, to this day, that's where my itch came from, was from him, and watching him when I was younger, very young, fix things and make things in his workshop, and just it was he was a good man, and I learned a lot from him.
Oh, let's see. I love this. Like, it's that bit of that kind of generational passing down. Learning from, your grandfather, or from fathers, all this sort of thing, and it's so lovely when that happens, and it's, and you see it with you now, in your streams, because you've got your little one coming in.
Oh yes, she loves being out here. My boy, not so much, but maybe one day he'll enjoy coming out here.
Yeah, because it's amazing, seeing this sort of thing, and it's that kind of what's the word I'm looking for? I've lost my words now, but it's the passing of the torch sort of idea.
Yes.
That, as I say, the generational learning, and inspiring, your kids into something that you enjoy, and seeing them have, at least some of them having that passion for it as well.
Oh yes.
Because especially your little pirate.
Oh yes. And I mean, most of the time it's, they just want to take a little bits of the scrap wood and some nails and go to town. By all means, come out here, grab a hammer, grab a box of my nails, and hammer away.
Yeah, well, that's where it starts, though, because
yes,
they're from that they're going to learn something, and then they're probably going to go, well, if I can do this, I'd like to make that, and then they're going to go, Dad, how do I make this?
Yes,
and you're going to go, well, let's go and try this first, because we're not going to lose your fingers.
Well, even Pirate Helper is not to the stage yet where I'll let her use some of the bigger power tools.
But it's just so, it's, I love that, and especially in today's day and age where, especially getting, especially girls into things like STEM as well. Getting them interested in woodworking, getting them interested in mechanics, all this sort of thing. Because a lot of the time, a lot of people are like, no, it's not for girls still, and it's like, no, it is. Everything's for everybody.
No. Yes, absolutely.
And it's like, just let them do it, because they're going to enjoy it if they enjoy it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh. But because there was another picture that you sent. Look, get that one. Your other one.
Oh
Look
yes.
At that.
So this is not. So this is the little Pirate Helper, very young, in my old workshop at our previous house. One morning she woke up and we're sitting at breakfast, and she looks at me. She's like, "Daddy, I want to make a birdhouse." I'm like, "By golly, we're gonna make a birdhouse today then." And we went out to the workshop, and I had plans, and she did all the measuring. She did all the marking on the wood. I obviously cut everything for her, but I let her use the nail gun, and we put, you can see her there using the hand sander, and of course, for the kids, as Work Lettuce would say, got to have ear pro and eye pro. But yeah, that was one of her first projects there, making a birdhouse. She still has the birdhouse. It's actually at this house behind this wall out on a post out in the yard. So it's still out there, and birds have made nests in it. But that was her first big project. She just woke up one morning and looked at me at breakfast, said, "Daddy, I want to make a birdhouse." So we did.
Absolutely brilliant. And that's, again, just going, I want to make this. And then you like, yeah, let's go do it.
Yeah.
Here's the tools. I'll cut the bits. You put it together and use it. Here we go. And, it's that inspiring. And there's so much learning within that for
yes.
and it's, again, just, that relationship building stuff between you and your daughter as well.
Oh, she loves being out here most days, but then she comes out, she's like, I'm going in. I'm going inside. I'm done. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. But that's the thing. She's become part of your stream as well.
Oh, yes. I mean, she has her own emote.
Yep. That she does. And how do you find that? Having her as part of your stream. Are you enjoying having her share this with you? Or?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've made her a little corner here in the workshop as her own space that it's all hers. Granted, she yells at me for putting stuff in her space, and she steals a bunch of my stuff when I'm not looking to put in her space. But eventually, I say all the time on stream, as soon as she gets her grades up to where we want them, she's going to have her own channel that she'll be doing her own makers and crafters from in her little corner here in the workshop.
I love that every time. And she's like, I'm getting there with my grades. Every time.
And everyone's super positive because they want to see her streaming.
Totally.
It's like, get your grades up.
And it's so good that, she's got, it's a wonderful incentive for her. And it's, it's something that she's enjoying doing. And it's, nothing that she's like, oh, I didn't want to do it. And which, like you say, when she's had enough, she just goes away.
Yeah. She'll, eventually when she gets her grades up and she'll be streaming, she'll be like, okay, I'm done. And just end her stream. I see that happening. I just see that happen. She's like, okay, I'm done. I've had enough. Boom.
This is fine. Yeah. It's the whims of the young, as it is.
Yes.
Yeah, like Sasaki's saying Pirate Helper's going to be the next big streamer.
Oh yeah, she gets the gift of gab. She can sit there and talk to herself, and which is one of the big things with any streamer is be able to talk to no one. And I'll tell you what, she's got that down packed.
Oh yeah, that is that is definitely something, especially when you first start streaming. That's for sure.
Oh yes,
because it's definitely hard. How did you find starting your first few streams before you started getting people jumping in and talking and all that sort of thing?
Oh man, I still have problems with it. I mean, I'll hear the chat in my ear and I'll be focused on something and then I'll forget what somebody just said to reply to them. And I mean, I still have troubles to this day with being able to talk to no one or even talk to chat. I mean, it's always something to get better at and evolve.
Yeah, I keep forgetting you do text to speech in your ears, don't you? With yours.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. How do you find that?
At first, it can be pretty overwhelming. I mean, you're trying to work on the lathe and listen and be able to remember it and talk over the next comment that's coming in your ears to the previous comment. So there's a learning curve to it. I mean, I know there's a few makers and crafters that have tried it and they're like, oh no, I can't do this. I'm just gonna look at the screen every once in a while. I mean, it's, it might not be for everyone, and what works for some people might not work for the other. But I mean, one day, uh, Blapple was in here, Blue Moon, Cerise. There were so many people, and they broke my TTS. I think there was a good 30 or 40 people in here that were just breaking my TTS. It was a day that the Twitch emotes weren't working, and it was just the text.
Oh.
So my TTS reads all the text to me. So if somebody posts a hyperlink, it reads it to me. Yes. If emote's broken, it reads the whole emote. So they were just having a hoot of a time doing all the broken emotes, and I had to take off my headset right here and just sit here, and I just stared at the webcam. I just sat there like this. I'm like, I put it in slow mode, my chat, so on the longest span you could do on slow mode to actually have everything catch up. Oh man, everybody was having a hoot of a time, just spamming it. It was a good day though. It was a really good day.
Sasaki said their parrot loves when we post links in the chat.
Oh yes, absolutely love it. I mean, I love it when people post links of their work or suggestions or, hey, I just bought this tool. What do you think? I love that people post links. That's why I don't block them. But it does read every bit of that hyperlink to me.
You need to figure it out, sort the TTS to do that, to ignore that. There must be some way of doing that.
There's a way, but I'm not tech savvy enough to figure it out yet. One of these days, though. One of these days.
Totally. Oh. So, your workshop.
Yes.
Yes. You do have an amazing workshop. You really do.
It's a place to dabble. Just to get a couple of projects done. Nothing fancy.
Nothing fancy. Yeah, well, I don't know about that. You've got a fair wacky tools in there. No.
I do.
But it's this has been a collection for a while since you've been doing this for what 20 odd years. You were saying,
Yeah, but the bigger tools haven't come until I'd say maybe the past 14 or 15 years, the bigger tools. Because that picture right there that you just saw with Little Pirate Helper was, I guess, would say my first official workshop. It was just a little 1.5 car garage, which is, the size of some of these makers and crafters. I mean, there was my workbench in that little workshop. I made do. But that was my first, I would say, real workshop. That was right after I had just built that workbench. I just put in there and framed around those little filing cabinets, and those filing cabinets, oddly enough, are the same ones in this workbench behind me that I built as one of the big projects when I did makers and crafters streaming. But that little workshop there, little 1.5 car garage that I shared. And then when we outgrew that house, my biggest requirement for the next house was a bigger workshop. And the wife was bigger house, bigger kitchen, and a big yard. Well, she's the one that actually found the house we live in now on the listings when we were in the market to buy a new house. And we came and looked at the house, and I was like, yes, please, let me get this. Because, I mean, granted, what you see behind me, the main workshop, is just a fraction of how big my whole garage is. So, I mean, oddly enough, this whole garage here is only 200 square foot smaller than the last house we moved out of.
So it's a fair step up then.
Yeah, yes, a fair step up. But I mean, this is, and I'll tell you what, going from that little workshop there, when I came to this one, there was a lot of empty space, but I have managed and done my best to fill up as much as I can.
Oh, well, it's quite easy to do that though. It really is.
Oh, it's so easy.
Uh,
Like I have space for that. I have space for that too. Oh, I have space for that. And then you get to a point where like I'm kind of running out of space.
yeah, I've been there, done that. I thought, oh yeah, this workshop's totally big enough. Put in a giant CNC machine. Maybe it wasn't big enough.
Yeah.
You know. But there's walls. There's totally walls to make use of, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's wall space. You have there's stuff to put stuff.
Yeah. Like that back wall of yours there, that's still not, there's still space in your back wall.
I know. I still got a little space to put something. I don't know what, but I'll put something.
You totally fit something on that back wall. So notice, I love your sign. So is the woodworking kind of a side business for you as well?
I mean, so I actually got the idea from the banner from Boyd's Custom Creations. Shout out to little Boyd there. So he used to be Bud Accessories, and he had his big banner. And I was talking to him on stream one day. I was like, "Man, I really like your banner. I'm going to steal that idea." He's like, "Go ahead." And the young man, Design Deviant, that did the Pirate Helper emote and the Pirate Raid emote. I did a swap with him for his artistic ability, and I made him a yarn bowl to give to his mother for Christmas, and he also designed a banner. So it was, he used his artistic ability. I swapped him with a yarn bowl, but he designed that and put it on the wall.
Yeah, Boyd's Custom Fab is really good for that sort of thing. It does. It's got
He was kind of showing off the other day with his new Festool stuff. So I mean,
He's got the fancy Festools.
I mean, who shows off new tools on their stream? I mean, seriously, who does that?
Yeah. So how's that new lathe?
Yeah, I did say Boyd's Custom. It is Boyd's Custom Fabs. I made a mistake. Pirate makes mistakes. It's okay. I realized that when Laser Geek just said that. I made a mistake.
We're getting a little bit of interference here. 1 sec.
Uh-oh. We can't have interference.
It's one of these things sometimes happens. As long as the internet's not dying, we're all good. No.
I mean, the interwebs does have to go through that cable underneath the ocean because, you have to be on the other side of the world.
I think we're good. Yeah, we're back. We are back.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, we're mostly back. Yeah. You're not pixelated anymore. You're good.
Oh, I'm glad. I was worried.
They've recombobulated you. You're fine. So yeah, your new fancy lathe. That's your, you've upgraded.
Yes, I did. And, with the upgrades that I've been doing, I mean, I don't know if it wasn't for streaming and wanting to do better stuff for everyone and make better products, I don't know if I would have upgraded as quickly as I have. Along with, I have climate control in the workshop. Because, before streaming, I'd be out here for maybe an hour or two in the winter or summer in the peaks because it was just miserable being out here in the cold or in the hot. But I mean, would I have waited a little bit longer to maybe upgrade some of the stuff or put in climate control? Maybe. But to, provide more quality products and more, I guess you should say, entertainment to everyone. I might be upgrading a little bit quicker than I would have. And I know my wife's watching right now, and she's probably going to say something as soon as this is over with. But yeah, I mean, it's thanks to everyone that watches that I upgrade and get better stuff to provide better quality stuff to everyone.
But that's the good thing about the kind of makers and crafting streaming is anything you make you can put back into what you're doing.
Oh yes.
And you're like, oh yeah, I've got this money coming in, from subs or whatever. When you get enough, you're like, oh yeah, I can put that towards X, Y, or Z to improve what I'm making.
Oh yes.
And it's.
I mean, pretty much everything that I get goes back into buying some sort of supplies for the workshop.
Yeah, it's the same for me. Like, I always say that. Like, whenever anyone gives me a sub or whatever, I'm like, oh yeah, this pays for the wood. Literally.
I can buy sandpaper.
Yeah, because that's literally what it pays for me most of the time. It's like, oh yeah, I really need to buy wood. I need to buy more wood. Yeah, but bits buy wood.
Absolutely.
Because wood is expensive, especially especially for you doing wood turning and stuff like that.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I say many a times that a good chunk of my wood pile has been stuff that I've acquired from other people, but I've gone through a lot of it because I'm doing a lot more turning now that I stream, and even just buying small little wood blanks at $5 to $10 a pop adds up. And then the more exotic you get or more figured wood you're getting, it's just like, oh sweet baby Jesus, this is expensive. But once again, you get it all in return when you post it on Instagram or somebody sees you doing it on a stream and they're like, oh my goodness, that's gorgeous. And they want it. They want what you're making. Yeah. Which is one of the best feelings ever, yeah, it gives you a sort of satisfaction that you're doing something good.
Oh yeah, definitely. And just having the stream where folk can come in and see you making something and go in,
yes,
oh, you're making that, can I have it?
Absolutely.
And that's that's the amazing part. When you start getting people coming in and going, this person makes this. Can you make this for me?
Absolutely.
Yes. Oh yes, I can make that for you. Or then you get the other ones that you go, can you make this for me? And you're like, no, I can't, because I can't, because that is copyright.
Yes. Yes. Can I have this Mickey Mouse CNC figure? No, you cannot.
Guys, remember, things that are copyrighted cannot be made properly.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. We talk about this all the time. Copyright.
Yeah.
But for you, making, the stuff that you're making, it's outstanding. You're making stew balls just constantly now.
Yes. Well, everything's stew bowl related now.
You are literally, known as the stew bowl king, are you not?
I'll tell you what, if I see anybody else out there making stew bowls, you better watch out.
Yeah. Look, there's a stew bowl there.
Yes, that right there was, and I still have it. I don't know where it is right now, but that was the very first bowl I ever turned. And there's a saying in wood turning, one more cut. And sometimes that one more cut's going to get you in trouble. And that's precisely what happened on my very first bowl. Because as you can tell, the bottom of it is a very different wood than the other rest of it. Because that one more cut went straight through the bottom. So I had to do some finagling and shape another piece to fill in the bottom and turn it back out. But I still have it. My boy has it somewhere in his room, and I couldn't find it. because in true pirate fashion, I waited to the last minute to try and hunt through his room to find it, and I couldn't, obviously, because he's a small child and their rooms are super clean.
Yeah, of course, totally,
But,
perfectly. Everything's in its place. Nothing on the floor.
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely.
As QCat says,
But
spotless.
that was the very first bowl I ever turned in my turning career. So some would say, and I'm sure they're probably saying it, the very first stew bowl before I even knew that I was going to make stew bowls.
Yeah, it's Sasaki saying there, you're glad Pirate finally leaned into it after much resistance to the stew bowls.
Yes. Oh, man. That was a day on stream, I'll tell you what. Making a bowl and everybody was, like, oh, that would be stew. You could put stew in it. I was like, and I was getting a little perturbed. I was like, no, you don't put stew in it. It's not a stew bowl. And then it turned into everyone's saying stew bowl. And then, of course, 2021, I kind of just accepted it. And we did our first official stew bowl that I just got the Discord message from Life in Pain that he got it and he received it.
Oh,
and
nice.
Then, so from now on, everything stew bowl and stew bowl related, I've accepted it because I cannot fight anymore because they will overwhelm me in chat.
That's the thing, though. So, chat is one of these ever dominant presences.
Oh, are they ever?
Chat, you're amazing. You are. You're always amazing.
And then when you get people in there like Blue Moon, Cerise, Sasaki, Blapple, and I'm sure I'm missing a few, when they get their powers together, they are overwhelming. They're like, good. I'm like, but it's a good.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. You have beaten down the pirate. You win.
Yeah.
I admit defeat.
Yeah, it's when a chat gets their collective mind onto something,
Yes.
and it's like this is what we like, and you're like, I'm swithering on it.
Yes.
You've got no chance at that point.
Yes.
If you're resolute in going, no, I'm not having it, then that's fine. But if you show any weakness at all, because you showed weakness with the stew bowl, you showed weakness.
Even when you're firm, that just makes them even stronger. Their numbers multiply, and they're like stew. And then once Cerise in Saint Cerebello, she designed that stew bowl emote and everything that eventually, yes, I will get stickers made, and then gave that design to Tink Live that digitized it and made stew bowl patches and sent me stew bowl patches.
Yep.
And turned into Sasaki getting a stew bowl apron. You can't stop it. It's spreading like wildfire. You can't stop it.
It's it's one of these things that happen, though, and
it happened, all right. It happened.
It happens. It's similar to things that happen like DOOTNOOTs.
Yes.
Yeah, or me and goth makeup. It seems.
I did notice you made that goth makeup channel points exceedingly high.
Yes, very much so, for good reason. Because that's if people want it, they will earn it.
Yes, it's just like my redemption with the handmade item. So I had it at 50K. And there was a few people that remain nameless, Blue Moon, that was saying that it's too high, we'll never get there. So for the new year, I lowered it to 49,999.
Mm-hmm.
So, Blue Moon comes in and trolls, which is a good troll. So I had to troll Blue Moon back a little bit with that because, the first stream of the new year, I said, everyone, hey, take a look. I lowered it. Blue Moon broke me down. I lowered it. And as soon as Blue Moon saw it, was like, oh, I got trolled.
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But, that's the fun part as well, when you've got that relationship with your chat.
Oh, yes.
When you can do that sort of thing. And that's what I really love about all the people that jump into Makers and Crafting chats. Because everyone's able to take that kind of joke, that they don't take offense at, that kind of trolling, because it's all done in jest,
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Because other places on Twitch. Oh, on you go.
It's just like the command in my chat that Cerise made for potty breaks, because I'm a pirate. I stay well hydrated, and the reason I bring this up because you cannot have a pirate vodcast without a potty break, because unfortunately I do need to take a quick potty break, but. In my stream, Cerise made a potty break command that her, Sasaki, and Blue Moon are super quick to use, and it counts my potty breaks, but it's not a resettable counter. It's ever growing. So if somebody new comes into chat and they see the potty break command that, one of those three are quick to use, and it says 39 potty breaks today, because that's what it literally says. It says pirate has taken this many potty breaks today, and it says like 39, and they're like, he's taking 39 potty breaks today?
The stream's only been going for an hour.
In true fashion, I fortunately need 2 seconds, not really 2 seconds, to go take a quick potty break, because you can't have a pirate vodcast without a potty break.
Run.
So I'll be right back.
There we go. We'll hide them. There we go. Thank you, guys. Oh, there we go. This is the first time ever one of our guests ran away. It's not ran away at all. Yes, exactly. Yes, you cannot do crafting without coffee, or juice of some sort, or what have I got today? I've still got some. It's what one was it today? Strawberry watermelon. I'm trying out this time. Tastes like something. Time to juggle. There we go. Mr. Frightful is added to the counter. He's taken 40 potty breaks today. Yeah, there's no more purple today. I finished the purple last night. Took me a while to finish the purple, which supposedly tastes like grape, people. I found out it's supposed to taste like grape. It tastes like purple. It totally tastes like purple. Yeah. I can't actually juggle because I'm connected today. I didn't go wireless, so I can't do the juggles. It claimed mixed fruit. Oh, mixed fruit. Purple. Totally purple. That's what we're going with. It's totally purple. But yeah, I'm mostly drinking orange and mango, guys. Orange and mango. And don't worry, I do not need to go to the loo. I went before. Oh. Something like Pimpto. Here we go. He's coming back. Yeah. You're not on camera, you're fine. We covered you up. There you go. Oh, there we go. He's back. Yay.
And I'm sure that in my next stream, either Sasaki, Blue Moon, or Cerise are going to add a potty break to my chat for having a potty break in your stream. Well, I know what's going to happen.
As they should be doing. It's totally required. All right.
But I mean, it's as much as I say, every time they use it and it's ever expanding number. I'll tell you what, it's so much fun though, because they enjoy it, and I'm not going to admit that I enjoy their playful banter with the potty break and all the other commands, but I, I mildly enjoy it. I'm not going to say I fully enjoy it, but I like their playful banter.
Yeah, and like we're saying, it's that bit where having a chat that's able to do, to accept that friendly banter as such.
Oh yes.
That goes on, and able to take like the sarcasm or the friendly trolling, because not every part of Twitch can accept that. A lot of people would never see that that is not that it's unacceptable, but they just don't get it. I think a lot of makers and crafting people are just kind of a lot more older and wiser.
Yeah, and we're just as trolly as they are. I mean, we'll troll them right back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, okay, I have this for you.
Since QCat, speak for yourself. So QCat's just salty because we hype trained her earlier. She doesn't like being hype trained and people being nice to her.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people don't like being nice. She sees that as trolling her.
It's like, here's all this stuff. We're being nice to you. Quit being nice to me.
Oh, brilliant. Tell you what we're going to do is we're going to take, this was a perfect point to kind of have a little break and look at the weekly show-offs.
Oh!
Yes, let's go and have a look at what we have. Let's click the right things.
Clickety click.
Yep, let's find the right thing. Where have I put it? I'm so bad at finding the right thing. This one here. Yay. Found the right one. Yeah. There we go, guys. Right. So every week on the Discord, I have a section called the Weekly Show Off, where you can submit pictures, videos, music, any sort of creative endeavor that you do for putting into the Weekly Show Off, where myself and the week's guest will have a look at and discuss what you put in. And so we can show it to everybody that's here, because everyone wants to see what everyone is making, because everyone is always making cool things. So if you're up for putting stuff in, join the Discord, stick stuff in the Weekly Show Off section, and get yourself put on next week's show. So up first, we have from Ishwood these two amazing trays.
Yes. I actually just purchased a cutting board from Ishwood that got put in the mail, I believe, yesterday.
Oh, wow. You'll be so pleased with that when it comes, because these are amazing. Like the detail work to get these made. Using the CNC to do these is still difficult, because the detail and the very thin pieces, like especially with like that unicorn's horn, is it's super thin. So there's no room for error in that.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. It's just like there'd be people to say, oh, it's CNC work. The machine does all the work. No, the amount of knowledge and talent you have to program the CNC to do what you want is, phenomenal. It's just like yourself, Laser, what you do, on your CNC and all the programming and everything that you have to do. It's overwhelming. I've tried. I can't do it. It's
I hate doing inlays.
Like ancient Aztec to me.
I really hate doing inlays because I screw them up all the time. Because it's difficult to get right. Because it's once you've got to get the right cut. You got to get the right depth. You've got to make sure everything's in the right position, clamp it down correctly, pressures, all that sort of stuff. It takes a lot of work to get them to work properly.
Oh,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
It's not just cutting it out right. There is a woodworking element to it on top.
Oh yes.
So totally, it's a great, two great pieces of work, guys. If you're not already following Ishwood, go give the man a follow. You won't be disappointed.
Absolutely not.
Up next, we have from Seskimo.
Ooh, rainbow clouds. Who doesn't like rainbow clouds?
Yep. She's been playing with her new toy. This is her sublimation heat press that she's got. I had to explain to Pirate what a sublimation heat press was.
It's using all them big fancy words.
Yeah. So it was... it's basically a big toasty maker.
This is a mouse pad, correct?
Yes, it's a mouse pad, yeah. But it's using it's all your own work as well, Seskimo. So it's all our it's all the mouse pad design, like all that artwork's Seskimo's own artwork as well, because she's like a proper artist.
Way better than I could ever do, but rainbows and clouds, they go hand in hand. And whoever doesn't like rainbows and clouds, I don't want to talk to that person.
Yeah. She's always making cool, cute, amazing things. She's also like a emote artist as well. So if you ever need emotes, she does. She's been doing like everybody's emotes recently. She did Lettuce's emotes. She's done.
Oh yes.
29's emotes. Doing everyone's emotes.
Been doing phenomenal work.
Yep. So, you ever need emotes? She's going to be doing some emotes for me.
You're getting new emotes?
I might be getting some new emotes.
Oh, cat's out of the bag.
Yeah, it'll be a while, but I'm on the list.
She's backlogged, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Oh, she's good, so she's busy.
Being backlogged is good. You got a lot of work coming in.
Yep. Up next, we have from QCat this cool bracer that she's made out of wool.
That black magic crocheting stuff.
Yep. See, someone else who believes it's black magic.
Making those little hooks just and just boom, look, I got a 5 foot by 5 foot quilt.
Yep, exactly. And I love the color choice as well. Color choice is cool. Very
excellent contrast.
Yeah.
Amazing work.
Yeah. And it's not too emo either. Not too emo. Yeah.
We're not saying too many nice things, are we?
No, we're not saying too. Hopefully not. By the way, QCat, are you Are you close to 200 yet, QCat? Have you got your 200 followers yet? Because if not, guys, if you're not following QCat, she's very close to 200 followers. So you need to be following her.
The big 200. That's always exciting.
So, because it's got to have a celebration for that as well.
Ooh, what kind of celebration? Everybody likes a good celebration. Get the hype train going.
Not hype on a milestone. We're being too nice to her. We're being too nice to her. Let's stop.
Okay, stop.
But yes. So yeah, I love it. Really nicely done, QCat. Really nicely done. Up next, we have from Mr. Frightful. We have two things. He's made this really cool robot design. Oh, too far. And then he also made some rolls for making hoagies.
It's making me hungry. I'm hungry all of a sudden.
Oh.
And that looks so delicious. Bread. That little Rubit is an amazing little design.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's a great design. I like it. It's that hair. The hair just makes it. It's just that, it's the curl.
It's a little butler robot that should be bringing you those handmade rolls.
Yes.
So you can eat them. That's what it is.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm like, Now the question is, Mr. Frightful, how were those rolls? Were they good?
Oh yes, we must know. Were they delish? Because they looked delish.
Yeah. Yes. And also, just by the way, QCat has now hit 200 followers. So guys, hype in the chat for QCat.
Woo!
Hype in the chat for QCat.
Hype for QCat. Woo woo.
They're totally getting some hype.
I'm sure QCat is like, stop.
Because celebrate all the good things that are happening, though, guys. We celebrate the good things.
Oh, absolutely.
It's what's good for one person is good for everyone in makers and crafting.
Yes.
That's what we love. Tune them out, so rewarmed and toasted. Ooh. And were they good? There we go. QCat is now attempting the laser partner push. It's going to be a while.
That 75 average viewers, I'll tell you what, as a maker and crafter, woo!
Very much so. 75 average. And then, even then, you've got to then, once you put your application in, you've then got to wait for them to come back and do, like, they'll then watch your stream at some point, or watch it over a few days and check your metrics for like a week. And then they'll be like, man. And so if it's the week that you're like maybe on holiday or you don't stream as much, or, you just have a bad week and you don't get the numbers, they'll then turn around and go, oh well, you didn't really get numbers that week. So no.
Yeah.
It's things like that.
No.
Up next, we have Lucifleur with this absolutely gorgeous pendant. Look at that.
Her stuff is always amazing. She was, I was watching her just the other day, and she was using that same design for the pendant to make a little brass knuckle out of some of those. And then she, if you look in the picture there, the little bone trinket things that she did, she was making those into a little bracelet. And then she was alternating between the silver and I think bronze, what it was. But yeah, her stuff and the amount of work she puts into each piece is amazing.
It's absolutely gorgeous. It's that you can see the detail work that, and the amount of time that you've got to put into making all that sort of work, because these are all hand cast as well, aren't they? As well. It's like, she does a lot of. I do a lot of lurking in a lot of makers and crafters. I'm not even in your stream, Laser. I'll pop in and be like, "Arg," and you're like, "Obsessed," and I'm like, "How you doing?" And you're like, "How you doing?" And then I'll lurk. That's pretty much how it goes for. It was in November.
A bunch of
it started in November on that piece.
Oh, in November. Wow, that's been a while. Yeah. But every time you go into her stream, she's like, "Oh, I have this project, and I have this project, and I'm working on this over here." And then, 37 projects later, she's like, "Okay, let's get back to our current project."
Yeah, that happens though. Like, oh yeah.
Oh yes.
I've got a butterfly table that I've still been working on for like a year and a half. Yeah, at some point I might finish it.
I mean, we never thought that you were going to finish that life-size dinosaur either.
Oh, he was totally getting finished. One way or another, he was either going in the skip or we're going to throw him in the bucket, or he was getting put up somewhere. One of the two. Instead, although I do have Blue Jean's head now just with me. He's got
just to keep you company.
Yeah, I picked him up from the workshop when I went to go and check on it, just so I had something. Just knock things over.
You should have had him there helping you make the doughnut the other day when you made them extra crispy.
Oh yeah, totally. Oh, making those doughnut. Oh, always fun.
That was very entertaining to watch as you were, I don't know how many times you tried to cut that bacon up in that little food simulator. Like, the bacon is not cutting. Yep. And then you just like, we're throwing it in the blender.
Well, no other way to do it. No other way to do it. Finally, we have from Michi a Shaun the Sheep crochet. Oh, you've been subjected to the Sun Sheep.
Oh yes, children. My kids watch that. I used to watch that all the time. It's a cute little cartoon.
Yeah. Totally.
But it's that black magic. All that black magic they're using to make that stuff.
Oh, yeah. And well, the thing is, when she was making this, she did it with a proper pattern as well, because there isn't an actual Shaun the Sheep pattern. So she was kind of just going with.
Oh, there should be. Yeah. There should be.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, to be able to. Oh well, I'm just gonna over here. Shaun the Sheep.
Exactly.
Here you go.
So.
It's magic.
Exactly.
Straight magic. It's magic.
She made that for another streamer, mismatched socks.
Another amazing streamer.
Oh yeah, she's so much fun. And
that's yeah. It looks that's Shaun the Sheep right there. That's spot on.
Yep, definitely. So there we have it, guys. That's the weekly showcase done for this week. So if you...
Huzzah, everyone, as Favorite Grain would say. Huzzah!
Exactly. All amazing work, as per usual. Everyone just makes so much amazing work here. I love it. I really love it.
So many talented artists.
Yeah, everyone's just like, yeah, here we go. Have a look at this cool stuff. These are all just... You're all too talented. But yeah, if anyone else in chat or is not already on the Discord, come and join in. Post your work. Shows what you're doing. We do not discriminate between beginners, advanced, anything like that. We love everyone posting stuff. Don't think that your stuff is not worthy of being on the weekly show off, because we want to see everybody's work. That's the thing.
All the stuffs.
And that's the thing. That is the thing. It's not about showing off the best stuff. It's about showing off what you're doing. And that, and that is exactly what we want to see, because everyone starts somewhere.
Oh, absolutely.
Actually, it's talking about starting somewhere. Let's jump back to your pictures. There we go. Let's get the right one. You said these were some of the first things you turned.
Yes, so that previous bowl was the very first bowl I ever turned. These 3 pins right here were the very first things I turned on my lathe. A friend of mine did, I got a few friends that got me into turning, and they bought some cheap pin kits, and they gave me some pin blanks, and these are the 3 very first pins I ever turned. I believe the wife has one. I gave one away, but right there was the very first things I ever turned on my lathe. And then that previous bowl was the very first bowl I ever turned on a lathe. But I mean, looking at those now, I look at them like, It's just like you said, you start somewhere. I'm looking at him like, man, if I only had a sanded that a little bit better, or if I had a just, one more cut on it or something like that, I was like, man, that could have been so much better. But we learn, we grow, we adapt. So you got to start somewhere.
But, the thing is, though, is that I look at them and go, they look absolutely amazing. And that, I'm like, what's wrong with them? I'm like, they're the first ones you turned. I'm like, I can do that good a pen on my first turn.
Well, it's not, they're not the greatest, it's not the greatest picture. I mean, that was a while ago, and the cameras on cell phones were not the greatest.
Yeah.
So, because that's what it was. It was just like, oh, I got my phone here. Let me take a picture. Click, and that's what that was.
Yeah, but like even down to like these kind of lines that you got going on the for the grip and all that, that's pretty hard to get. On kind of a turning project. Especially if it's for a first turn. That sort of thing.
I was testing and dabbling and seeing what I could do, and that's what I had. I don't even remember what woods those were because it was so long ago, but it was just I went to Woodcraft, picked out some of the cheapest pin kits they had, and a buddy of mine gave me some pin blanks and did some drilling and some gluing and some turning, and voila!
Yeah, so how did you find doing that for like the first time?
It was relaxing. I was just like, it's just like, a lot of people come in and they just sit there and they lurk and they just watch the shavings go and the wood get shaped, and they're like, I could just sit here and watch this all day. And it was just kind of the same thing as you're turning. Sometimes I get to a point where I'm getting really nice shavings and the piece is already round into the shape I want, but I'm getting such clean shavings and such nice cuts, and I'm watching all the curls come off. I'm like, I don't want to stop cutting the way material, but you got to.
Yeah.
It's like, you just want to sit there and hog through all the material because you're getting such nice curls coming off. And, if I did that, I'd end up with toothpicks with everything.
It's also that bit though when you're like, oh, you've bought this expensive bit of wood, and then you're just turning it and you're like, I'm just cutting away all this money.
You're like,
what's going on the floor?
One of these days it's called a bowl saver.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you ever heard of one. It's a little apparatus that lets you cut out the center of the bowl so you can have even more smaller bowls out of the same chunk instead of just wasting away all that material. But granted, those things are, pretty expensive, but one day I want one, so that way when I'm doing the bigger bowls, I can make big stew bowls and medium stew bowls and baby stew bowls.
Yes, and get all the stew bowls.
Yes. Instead of one stew bowl, we get 3 stew bowls.
Yeah, bowlception, as Kukat is calling it.
Yes, bowlception.
Totally. Oh, that's but the like your first projects are some of the first projects that are always going to stay with you as well.
Yes.
I don't think I've got a record of any of the kind of first projects I ever really made. Like when I was first kind of started out laser cutting, as such, because I never really. It was mostly making random stuff for my photography business at the time. As much as I was a photographer, I didn't really keep the photos of them. It's the most stupidest thing ever, being a photographer. But, it's like, but,
You have pictures of everyone else's stuff, but not yours.
Exactly. But, being able to look back on stuff that you're like, oh yeah, this is what I made then. And then comparing to the stuff you made now. It's that bit where, do you tend to do that for yourself, kind of looking back on what you've made before and then go, oh, I've made, have I made, have I improved? What could I do, better?
Oh yes. My wife actually has quite a few of my earlier and even recent projects on her desk. Oh, okay. Sorry, my computer blinked. I didn't know if I lost you or not.
Oh, no, we're fine. We're fine.
Oh, okay. But my wife actually has a lot of my earlier wood turnings, pens that I've made. Sorry about that. But because back when I was making a lot of pens and I was selling them. I would make them come into the house in the evening, and she'd be like, "No, you can't sell that one. That one's mine." Oh, or can you make me one that looks like this or something like that? So she has quite a few of my earlier turnings and little bowls and stuff, my lidded vessels and pins and stuff that she still has that sit on her desk, and she still uses most of the pins I've made for her and stuff, and pencils and everything, and mechanical pencils. But I can see those, and so I still have some of those because my wife takes them.
Yeah. So, is it, that sort of thing where you'll kind of go, I can improve on that now,
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Because, I do that every so often as well. Because, I just randomly find stuff floating around in my workshop nowadays. I'm like, I made that when I first got the CNC. I could do better now.
Oh yes. You're like, I can get my zero axis so much better now.
Oh, and it's, but, sometimes I think, it's probably, it's that bit where if you don't do that, you're going to start stagnating as well, because you're just going to start churning out the same old stuff, because there's been times, I've felt for myself that I'm like, I'm just doing the same thing over and over again. I need to push myself, and it,
I mean, I got to push myself to make a better stew bowl.
Yeah.
So I mean, I got to improve that stew bowl. Yeah. I got to make it better somehow.
Well, what have you got plans in place for a better stew bowl? What are you thinking for the evolution of the stew bowl?
I'm gonna have to get back to you on that one.
Well, an integrated spoon, or
Oh, actually, let me get it. So the other few strains ago, I tried my hand at spoon making. So I was on the YouTube University, and I was looking to see how people did spoons on a lathe, and they usually do it in one solid piece. But then the handle would be, spinning, and you'd have to watch out for it because as you're, doing the spoon portion, right? So I wanted to do it in two separate parts: the handle and then the scoop portion, I guess you could call it. So what I did, it's more of it's a stout spoon. So it's more of a scoop than anything, or a ladle. But this was a first attempt. I mean, it's not too bad. It's not the best, but you got to learn from it. So we'll redesign. We can make this better. So it's everyone's powers combined, we can do better.
So it's not more of a handled stew bowl.
Yeah, sure. So you put a little bit of stew in there. You take the handled stew bowl into the big pot to take the stew out and put it in your big stew bowl.
Yeah. That's
handled stew bowl. I like where you're going with that. A handled stew bowl. Maybe you're onto something, Laser. A handled stew bowl.
See, I'm an ideas man.
I don't know if I'm going to pay you for that idea, but I'll give you credit for it.
Yeah, I've got the VOD here, so.
I got proof.
Yeah.
It's a binding contract.
Yeah. QCat, next up, a gravy teapot.
A gravy teapot. All the creative juices are flowing right now.
Exactly. What things we could make. What things we could make here. Exactly. We'll rule the world.
The stew-themed products that we could come up with.
Oh. So your first, we'll go back to your streaming, because we've not really talked about like your first woodworking stream. What inspired you to actually get out and do woodworking on stream? Because you were gaming.
Well, it was just finding the makers and crafters section on Twitch and seeing other people do woodworking in there, or even stuff in their workshops. And it's not this workshop didn't pop up overnight. Even when I was doing video game streaming, I was still out here doing stuff, but I didn't have any computer setup or any video camera or webcams or anything. Mm-hmm. So it was just, I saw it and I was like, I can do that. So I did it. I moved my webcams from the house out here, hooked them up, and at the very first time I was doing it, all I had was one webcam for the whole workshop. That's all I had at the time, was one. And I had it on this makeshift stand here that I still use, moving it around everywhere. And the first thing we really made was this workbench back here, because I needed a workbench. And then that was the real big first thing I ever did, was we made a workbench. And then I only had the one camera, but then I've evolved into, now I have 3 webcams. And then after the workbench, I believe I sent you a picture of the chessboard. So that was the first real turning / project besides the workbench that I did, that was my first giveaway. And all of those pieces I turned, I made the chessboard, I did everything on that. And Pixie is the one that won that. And I had to mortgage the house to ship it to her.
That expensive shipping for something that big overseas.
I kid. I didn't have to mortgage the house. I just remortgaged the motorcycle. Okay, it wasn't that expensive. But Pixie is so nice that she actually sent me some money to help pay for the shipping. She didn't have to do that. I didn't ask her to do that, out of the kindness of her heart, because that's who Pixie is. Sent me some money to help pay for the shipping, which was amazing. I think it took about a month to get to her. She said she was going to find a nice home in her house. So I hope that she did that, because she's always talking about that she wants a shelf behind her to show off everybody's stuff that she has accumulated from other makers and crafters. But I think that's a reoccurring theme with all the makers and crafters, is they want other makers and crafters stuff to display and show off in their spaces.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But that was my first giveaway ever, and everybody's like, "Oh, that was a really nice giveaway," and I'm like, "Well, it kind of was," but once again, it was. I'll have to make myself one day. But I was really happy that it went to her, and that knowing that something that I made is on the other side of the world being shared with other people is a good feeling.
Oh, definitely. It's it's always that nice thing where you've got when you know that your work's out there and it's appreciated, and someone's got it and they're going, "Oh yeah, I got this made by ObsessedPirate." You
They're
know,
like, who's that? And then they're like, oh, you got to come check out Obsessed Pirate on the Twitch.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I was Pixie saying she's got a nice show display to show off stuff from peeps now. Yeah, so it's
She better.
yeah, totally. You know, and you know, how long did that take you to make as well?
Oh,
Because that would have been a while.
we were working on that for a good month. Because I mean, I had to cut all the strips for the chessboard itself, glue them together, cut them again, flip them, glue them back together to get the chessboard pattern, and then the rim, because the chessboard itself was poplar and cherry, and then the border is rainbow poplar, and the pieces were Paduke and orange Osage, but I had it took a good month to turn everything and then do the chessboard, but it was worth it.
Totally. Oof. You know, it's that bit where, you know, being able to kind of show that process as well.
Yes.
You know, it's, you know, it does give the viewer, especially if you're doing it as a giveaway, you know, it gives it shows the value of the piece even more when, you know, when you're, you know, a viewer that wins it then goes, wow, they've spent all this time making it. We've seen this blood, sweat, and tears at times that they've put into getting this made, and they're like,
yes,
ooh.
And that's one of the things, you know, everybody, you know, when I first started doing the like my brother. He was like, why don't you just do YouTube videos? I'm like, well, you know, there's editing and everything, but with YouTube, you can't just sit there and straight ask somebody how they did something or why they're doing something, you know, why they did something while they're doing it live on the spot and get an answer. I mean, nothing against people that do videos on YouTube, because, you know, it's pretty lucrative for some people to do that, but you have to wait and hope that they, you know, respond to your comment. And it's a lot harder to troll people on YouTube because, I mean, with Twitch, it's live trolling and you get an automatic response.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That you do. You know, and, you know, I'll you know, it is, you know, that, and...
Oh, sorry. I just heard my air compressor going off,
right.
And it was like that squirrel that why is my air compressor going off when I should have turned it off before I left my workshop the last time? And I'm like, I don't keep it running all the time. So it was one of those squirrel, shiny object. Where you at?
So it's about normal for you then. Oh, but that, you know, it's where was that? What were we talking about? It got totally distracted me there. What were we talking about?
I did.
What were we talking about, guys? What were we talking about?
Trolling.
We're talking about trolling, but what were we talking about before the trolling?
About the live.
Oh yeah, live. Yes, live and live versus YouTube. That's what it was. Yes. That's yeah. You know, being able to do the live, you know, that live interaction, you know, and again, you know, like going back to that kind of being able to impart knowledge that you know, like saying you were given that knowledge, you know, from like your grandfather, you know, and all this sort of thing, and like you're passing it to your kids, but you're also being able to pass it on to all these other people in chat as well.
And that's a big reason why I enjoy this so much, is because nowadays there's so many people that don't know how to make something, or, you know, even how to change a tire or something like that. Because I mean, just the other day, Lettuce was on his stream changing the brakes, right? Just woodwork. But, you know, we all know he got a start on being a mechanic.
Yeah.
So for him to be able to do that, and then, you know, be able to teach somebody how to change their brakes if they so desire to. It's the same thing with this is, if I'm able to inspire somebody just to get a piece of balsa wood and maybe do some whittling, I consider myself a success due to the fact that I inspired someone just to attempt to try to make something. If they continue on it, maybe, it might not be for them, but they tried it. They were inspired to, at least try.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's whittling, QCats, not whittling. It's two totally different things.
You whittle on a piece of wood. You carve on a piece of wood. Carving. I don't know. It's just you whittle on a piece of wood. You just take a knife and a piece of wood and you whittle on it and make something. That's what I've always called it. Maybe it's because I'm from down south in Texas. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Sorry. In Scotland, to whittle is to go to the toilet.
Oh, I can see where that could be a problem.
Yeah, so yeah. That there you go. That's the it's when we get the cultural clashing going on.
Yes. There could be a lot of people right now that are Scottish who are like, they did what on the wood? What? Whittle? What? Who is this guy?
Yeah. See that? No, we're talking about me washing brushes now. There's a common, if you've popped into my stream anytime where I've had to wash a brush, you get the sound of the tap running, and I keep having to remind people that the water is running is not me going to the toilet, just in case.
You're not whittling.
Yes, exactly. I'm not whittling. I'm not whittling. I'm washing a brush.
You need something to go across your screen like a little banner. Yeah. This is the faucet.
I do. I've got a thing. Washing a brush. Yeah. So yeah, Pirate is quite the lad. Okay, they're going to start something new for you now.
Yeah, please don't.
Yeah, no, and crossing the streams.
Oh my goodness.
Here we go. No. So was there any when you were starting out, what streamers were you watching that kind of made you go, oh, I could do that? Was there any kind of streamers in particular that you were kind of like, oh, they're kind of cool?
Well, I mean, the first one I ran into was Hula and Hicks, and then you and Timber Anu.
Mm-hmm.
Were some of the Timber Anu was the first one I ever popped into and found, because I just you watch Timber Anu and it's just mesmerizing what he can do with his carving knives and stuff, with his whittling. He's just so mellow and relaxed, and he just makes it look so effortless what he can do on his wood carving. But he was the very first one I found, and I could just watch him. And then of course, Timber shouts out people, and then he'll raid people, and it just escalated from there, But Timber was the very first one I found, and then of course Pixie with her pyrography. But all those, those were the first one. Timber was the very first one I found, and made me realize that I could do. Wait a second, I got a workshop. I can do that too. And then that's when I packed up my webcam and stuff, and from the house, and brought it out here. And the wife thought I was kind of silly at first. She's like, "You're gonna do what out in your workshop? I thought you wanted to do video games." And of course, I kind of mock her now, and I know she's watching. So as soon as I go into the house, she's gonna be like, I'm gonna hear about it, but that's okay. That's what marriage is about.
Yep. Not married, but yep.
Uh,
So what's quite funny though is that Timber New was probably the first person I found on Twitch as well.
oh, really?
Yeah. It's quite,
I mean, now he was the first maker and crafter. But I mean, there's a few video game streamers that I still watch and still follow.
Mhm.
Like this guy, the real Matt Sit. He was also on Mixer when I was doing Mixer video games, right? He still does video games. He does a lot of Apex Legends and Escape from Tarkov. But he's one of the video game streamers. He followed me when I was on Mixer, and I followed him, and we both migrated over. He followed me onto the makers and crafters scene. He still pops in every once in a while when he can. But that, and then there's another video game streamer, a variety streamer, Aiden Half Troll, super amazing. Cup of tea for me, another amazing variety streamer for video games. But also those ones, and then it's expanded so much of all the amazing makers and crafters that I follow. We got Boyd, we got Sasaki. Gangles, Crinks.
We'll get into your recommendations in a little while.
So many people. I mean, I recommend everyone. Just go to the makers and crafters section, follow them all.
Exactly.
That's what you gotta do.
Exactly. It's very true.
All of them. And that's the great thing about the makers and crafters section.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about following 3,000 people. Get about 30 or 40 and you're good. You got them covered.
Yeah. But, it's that thing. You can jump in Makers and Crafting, look down the list, in Makers and Crafting in the category and go, oh, that looks interesting. I'm going to just jump in here. You might never have followed them before, but you jump in and someone new you can find, and go, oh, new craft.
Oh, yes.
Or someone just different or interesting. And like, oh, hey.
Oh, yeah. Like somebody's building a model one day, and I'm like, sure, I'll watch that. And then you got somebody doing model making, like Johnny Q Studio. His little model making that he does is pretty amazing. The paint jobs that he can do on those is simply outstanding. But then there's just so many people to name, and then you got the people that say they're doing makers and crafting, but they're really just chatting the whole time. Calamity Cat and Rick Lettuce.
There's rules. And there's a law where it's hit and go live reduces productivity by 70%.
Yes.
So,
It's just like, when I'd be out in the workshop, I'd be out here even before I did streaming, I'd be out here for an hour or two and I'd get so much done. But now, you're interacting and everything. I'm not going to say it's a bad thing that, people are talking and chatting, but it's a good thing that people in their chat, talking back and forth. Everyone says that, you could get so much more work done in your workshop if you didn't stream. I'm like, yeah, that's absolutely true, but I wouldn't have as much fun.
Exactly, and that's the thing. It's that bit of like, it's people coming in and you're having fun with your friends while making something, perhaps.
Yeah, possibly finish or start on something.
Yeah, you're going to eventually get it made at some point. And they know that you're going to get it made. They're mainly there to distract you from getting it made.
You got to draw out the suspense, so they come back for the next episode of your stream to see if you actually finish.
Yes.
Or if you're going to draw it out into a mini series.
Yeah, no one watches television anymore. This is drama at its highest. Will this bowl ever get to the point where you'll put some finish on it?
Will we know? No one knows. It's like that the simple little project right here. It's a little chalkboard chore chart that the wife's been asking me to make for the kids for their chores. I mean, if I wasn't streaming, that would take me an hour or two tops. But I wouldn't have had as much fun making it if I wasn't streaming.
Yeah. And how long have you been making that for now? How many streams?
It's been a couple of streams. I mean, the glue's done dried. I just haven't taken the clamps off. I mean, it's pretty much done, but I still got a little bit of work to do on it. But yeah, I would have been out here for maybe an hour or two, and it would have been done. But once again, I wouldn't have had as much fun.
Well, we've had a couple of questions in. First one is,
okay.
When are you doing your stew cooking stream to show us how the bowls work?
Who asked that?
That was from QCat.
Oh, okay. I think because Sasaki said the same thing a couple of times in my stream. So I half expected him to say that. So I'm not allowed to stream. More than likely, the wife's going to say I'm not allowed to stream from the kitchen. I can see her saying that right now. And when I go back into the house, she's going to say, "You're absolutely right. You can never stream from my kitchen." Because she doesn't like being on stream as it is. Every once in a while, you get some peeks of her when she's just real quick passing me something. It's like a little blur across the shop. Or she'll hide clear over there on the other side of the drill press because she knows that this camera right here doesn't catch over there, and she'll look at this mobile camera and see where it is, so she knows where to hide. So if I was in the house, it would be really hard for her to hide from the camera.
Yeah, there's been a couple of suggestions. One was to get a camping stove for the workshop.
Camping stove.
The other is build kitchen and workshop when?
No. I have to have running water in the workshop, which I do not. Eventually, maybe one day. So that way the pirate potty breaks are a little quicker, maybe. But no, I am not the cooker in the house. The wife does a majority of the cooking because it is absolutely phenomenal. And yes, babe, I love your cooking. It is absolutely phenomenal. There. But yeah, she does a lot of the cooking. Now, when it comes to like stuff on the grill, the smoked meats and stuff, most of the time I'm doing that. But she knows her way around the grill as well. So she if I'm off on for work purposes, and it's nice out, she'll drag out the grill, start the charcoal, and cook herself up some chicken or some pork chops or something on the grill. So she knows her way around the grill as well. But when it comes to smoked meats and the smoker, she leaves that up to me.
The other one was from The Drive. Oh, I've lost it. Come back here. There we go. Could you say chalkboard chore chart 10 times fast?
No, because it's hard enough for me to say it just once. Because when somebody comes in, when I was working on it in chat on my stream, people come in like, "What you working on?" "I'm working on a chalkboard chore chart for the kids." And then a couple minutes later, somebody else comes, "What you working on?" "I'm working on a chalkboard chore chart for the kids." And it's just, and it comes to the point, it's a chuck.
Oh, your tongue's just totally gone by that point.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
It's your own fault for calling it that, though.
But that's what it is. It's a chalkboard chore chart for the kids.
What's it? Sorry.
It's all together now. It's one word.
Yeah, totally.
It's a new word I just invented.
Oh, one of the other pictures you sent me was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing.
What did I send you?
This gorgeous table.
Yes. So that was a dining room table I made for the wife for our house.
That is gorgeous.
Well, thank you. She's always said that she wanted a big, solid hardwood table for the house, and I made her one. So that's our forever dining room table. But she's always, you go to the furniture store. That was one of the bigger first times I did a big project like that. It took me over a month to make that table. But you go into the furniture stores and like you see the solid slab tables and like, oh, that's so gorgeous, but they went like $3,000 or $4,000 for it. It's just like I got to the point where I just buckled down and I made one, and I sitting in the house and I had to have my neighbor help me because I made the top removable and the base to be able to take it apart with some bolts and stuff. But I had to get my neighbor to help me carry that top in because it was not light at all.
Be. What's it made of?
So the top is out of a post oak, and the base. I actually don't know what it is because I got a friend of mine that his daughter works at a warehouse shipping company, and they get a lot of pallets in from overseas, but bigger pallets.
Yeah.
And all of that wood is exotic wood, but basic wood to them. And he had a whole bunch of it. And he gave it to me for next to nothing.
Nice.
But I had to mill it down. I had to mill it down and everything. But all that was substantial timbers that I had to mill down and cut for the stuff. So I don't know what it is. It has a lot of figure in it, but I stained it because it was a very light wood. But I stained it a darker walnut color.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. So was that a solid top then, or was that jointed together, or?
It was jointed together.
Yeah,
It's not solid, but it has a live edge on there.
Yeah. So I was going to say, for a bit of oak, that's an awful large bit of oak. If it was a single piece, I was like,
Those big solid slab pieces are so expensive.
Yeah. Why?
That tabletop's almost 3 inches thick.
Yeah. Why? Oak gets very expensive. Yeah.
But right now, all wood is very expensive.
Oh yeah, COVID has really just done a number on all the wood markets.
Well, it's like when I was repairing or rebuilding that wall behind me. The supplies for that cost me a lot more than they should have, just for the simple fact that wood prices were through the roof.
Yeah, it's like when my suppliers haven't been too bad, only because they had like a massive stock of it that they already had in, which was all right, and they hadn't been hit because no one really knew that they existed as much. And they were like, yeah, we can still sell it. We're fine. We've not put our prices up as I think they put them up a little bit because they could, but they weren't taking the mickey about it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, we have in my area there is a lumber mill. I'd say about 2 hours away. That a buddy of mine that frequents for his wood supply. But in this local area, I mean, you got the Home Depot and the Lowe's, which, I mean, that's just for stick building. But then for the nice lumber, we have Woodcraft. But even their stuff on their nice pieces of really nice wood is just, it's getting pretty expensive to get some stuff.
Yeah, and is that mostly for the exotic stuff, or is that even for kind of?
Even the exotic stuff's coming cheap. Now, granted, right now my local Woodcraft has a pallet of cherry that is only I think $3.28 a board foot, which is half the price it usually is, but it's not the best cherry. So it's like you're kind of sacrificing a little bit.
Yeah. So is it more? The one I'm thinking is, your what's the word I'm looking for? Indigenous woods for your area.
They do have a lot of non-indigenous woods, but right now those are even harder to get because of everything has to go through customs and quarantine, even if it's not people. So because Rona lives on boxes.
Yeah. Sanitizing spray.
Yeah. get some Lysol. We're good.
Yeah, sprayers. It's all good. But yeah, it's that bit. For price. Like wood is expensive already. Mm-hmm. Wood is super expensive. Folk never realize this either.
No, they don't.
It's the funniest thing. Like folk are like, oh yeah, wood. It's not expensive. You're like, no, wood is super expensive.
Yeah, especially if you buy it pre-milled. If you get rough cut lumber, not so bad. But then once again, you're spending all that time joining and planing it to be able to use it.
Yeah, to get something like that table top that you've got, it's
ridiculous.
You're talking like, as you're saying, like £3,000 to get that table top, probably. At least, for a craftsman to make that.
And the time involved, it's just like everybody wants something for nothing. Before I started making things and selling them, I didn't go to craft shows and stuff, and people were like, oh, this is so nice, and you tip it over and they're like $300. Like, I'll put that down. But when you start making stuff with your own hands and realizing how much it costs for the materials and the process you have to do to make it and what's all involved, you're like, $300, that's it? That's all you want for that? It's like you could get so much more.
Yeah. Oh, because I see it all the time. Like there's a TV show over here, where they basically go to the rubbish dump, and and they take people's stuff that they're about to throw away, and recycle it and remake stuff. And one guy made a whole table out of somebody's wood that they were throwing out, and they sold it for like £800. But they had made an entirely new table, jointing all this. There was so much work going into it. There was he used so much extra lumber, all this other stuff, and you're like, you sold that for $800, and I'm like, that's like a £3,000 table, at least. For the sheer amount of work that you put into it, because they literally cut it up into tiny, like mosaic style pieces as well.
Oh wow.
It was like, the amount of time that you took on that, and you're like, no, unrealistic pricing now, because people are just going to expect that sort of pricing.
Yeah, like you go to like a craft show and you have a booth and you price stuff to where it should be for your time involved and how long it took you and how much materials are, and then you got Mr. Schmuckatelli right next to you that might have half-assed something, but selling it for like a quarter of your prices is just it's sometimes it can get frustrating, but it's like, no, just your time is money.
Why?
You have to price your stuff accordingly, or you can do a maker swap, which is even better.
Yeah, totally. Being able to do that sort of thing. When you've got people that are willing to actually go, yes, you're making something that I think is worth it, and I'm going to give you something that you believe is worth the same amount, and
oh yes,
doing that sort of thing. Sasaki there, this is why Twitch is great. It shows the process and how much work it takes to build stuff. Exactly, and that's what
absolutely.
It's great to be able to show people the processes that people are actually doing to make things, because
and that's,
people never appreciate.
I mean. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Yeah, people never appreciate the kind of work that goes into anybody's crafts, really, until they see it in person, or they see people actually doing it, because they're just like, oh, yeah, you're just making that, oh, yeah, it's, you buy that in the shop and just do it,
It's just like another great thing because vice YouTube versus YouTube. YouTube people edit it. They're going from a flat piece of board to artisan cabinet in 30 minutes via editing, and people think that's how long something takes. Nah, man, that shit's taking a lot longer than 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, it's totally. Love it if we could take 30 minutes just to make something like that.
Right? And a whole armoire in 30 minutes.
Yeah, we'd all be pumping them out if that was the case.
Right?
But that's, being able, again, just being able to show people what everyone can do and how, the amount of work that we all put into our various crafts, is, another great thing, and just like for you, for every kind of piece of work that you're doing, like a stew bowl isn't taking you, 10 minutes to make,
I wish.
Yeah. It's like, like when you're talking about a stew bowl, how long would that normally take to make?
Yeah, well, I mean, it depends on the wood and how fancy I'm getting with it. But I mean, sometimes I get one finished to stream if I'm lucky.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not very big.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's...
just ask, was it, even the little thing that I sent to Blapple and 29, just teeny little things that I sent to them that they won as a giveaway. That took me most of one stream to do one thing, and they're not very big, But even when you see some of these YouTubers doing some wood turning, which there's amazing wood turners on YouTube, you watch it and with the editing, like I know that took them at least 2 or 3 days to do,
Oh yeah. And then especially when they start adding in things like resin and all this sort of thing, when you know that it's going to take at least 24 hours for that to cure, and then they'll probably take another 7 days to wait for it to properly cure before you start even doing anything else to it and all that.
It's just like with Sasaki.
Yeah.
One stream he'll be sitting there doing all the casting and the vacuum molding or the vacuum chamber and all that stuff on one stream, and then a couple days later when he streams again, he'll be doing the turning. That's how long it takes for some of this stuff to cure.
Yeah,
or it's stuff that he did like a week ago that's properly cured when he wants to make his dragon eggs.
Yeah. Actually, Sasaki makes a great point as well. Plus, you don't get all the fun clips when you mess up on YouTube.
Exactly. Or when you try to make a dragon egg, but it clearly looks like something else, Sasaki.
It's that bit where you get these stupidity moments that form that indelible moments on your channel. It's the stew bowls. It's getting attacked by butterflies. It's dragon eggs that don't look like dragon eggs. It's it's things like that.
Oh, the dragon eggs is Sasaki's legacy.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna live that down.
Like Ishwood there saying, that it can get boring for viewers. Like 8 hours for one cutting board for him. It's, and sometimes I know that can get difficult. Like for some people's crafts, it can be different. Depending on what you're doing. Because I know, like in the kind of CNC world, for me, it's a different kind of way of working.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's and it's just a lot of the time it's with streaming, it's about trial and error, and find out what works for you.
But I mean, also with that, there's a lot of people that sit there and learn because they want to sit there and just watch the machine cut away the material.
Exactly.
So I mean, there's always that. I mean, I sit there and lurk in a lot of so many streams just because I just like to sit there and watch them do their things. I mean, last week I caught Ish. He was playing PUBG. I saw Ish was live, and I'm like, he's playing PUBG. Let's go check it out. And it's just like you were the other day. You were trying your hand at virtual cooking. It worked so well.
Oh yeah, I kept burning everything. But yeah, but it's that thing, because if you think about your, like your first kind of streams in your workshop, like you're saying, you probably, you had one camera, was it, for your stream? And
one camera.
And then, you've upgraded as you've went, and changed things up. And we've all done that on our streams as you learn what works for you, what you want to try.
I mean, Sasaki, you catch him still using his. I believe he still uses his phone as a camera above his lathe.
Yeah.
So I mean, I mean,
and it's
just gonna talk about Sasaki now because Sasaki and his dragon eggs.
Totally, but like I've went through so many different iterations of how like my streams went, because like Sasaki, I started off with my phone. Like I was streaming, I was using two phones, for my stream to start with, because I was like, I'm not buying cameras. I want to test this out before I buy cameras. I'm not spending money, I want to see if I enjoy this first, before I did anything like that. So I started with that, and then I'm like, oh yeah, let's buy a camera. Then I bought another camera. Then I bought the fancy pan tilt zoom camera.
Oh yeah. Oh, let's see what the hair on the back of this cat looks like. Let's zoom all the way in.
But that it's that bit where, it's like all the kind of different, I've tried different setups. I've tried, different ways of kind of where I'm putting the camera, all that sort of thing, to figure out what works for me. And it's taken like a year and a half to kind of go, this is what I like doing with it, for my setups, and, it's always hard, especially when you're quite new to streaming, finding your way,
And realizing and trying to get the camera angle right and realize where your cameras are. I mean, shit, I still forget. I'll switch to this view and then I'll go to the lathe and start turning and be like, we can't see what you're doing because I haven't pushed my button on my stream deck to let everyone see what I'm doing. So, I mean, it's always trying to remember what cameras you have active at whatever point.
Yeah. And, technical issues will always happen as well. Like I just saw there.
Yes.
My bitrate went for a second there. I'm like, oh, but it's been back up. We're fine, guys. We're fine. We're all good. I just saw everything went red. I'm like, oh. I was watching.
Danger.
I don't know what happened there, but everything went red for yeah. But we're all good. But yeah, like, you've got, I've got an alarm now for telling me that I've got the wrong scene. no one ever uses it. It doesn't get shouted at in the stream, in the chat, going wrong scene. But
now I'm probably gonna get harassed for one of those alerts as well on mine. Thanks, laser. Wrong scene.
Like, you don't need to kind of spend lots of money on things. It's not it's not something that you have to, for streaming. You should be spending loads of money on until you know that it's definitely for you. Work your way up in it. People are not going to mind if you don't have everything perfect. It's
because you've already spent so much money. Because especially if you're like a metal worker or woodworker, you've spent so much money already on your tools. Look at Bama Rooster. He's a perfect example. He works with what he got.
Mm-hmm.
He has, and it's phenomenal. He goes in there, he uses what he has. He doesn't go out and spend a lot of money on materials because he knows that he can go up to Harbor Freight by where he lives and get their pallets, and he breaks down pallets and he makes some amazing things with pallet wood. You got to use what you got. He's a perfect example of that. He's put a little bit of money into his tools recently, but when Bama used to do video games. He would play Neverwinter, and then he started doing. He did scroll saw stuff to help him out with some stuff. Not to put too much of his business out there, but then he put out his webcam out into where his little workshop is, which was his porch. But he only had one camera, and he made it work, and he still makes it work. He has 2 cameras now, so he's a perfect example of you use what you got and you make the best of it, and he's making the best of it.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's it's, as always, it's never about having the biggest and best. Because that it's not what people come to watch. They're there for the content. They're there for the person. There's always a reason why people will come to a stream. There's and it's very rarely because it looks good, unless that is the kind of the idea of the stream. That it's got some sort of major visual element to it, and usually that is kind of super high production value streams. And I don't,
like you and Texas Hicks that have the, pan tilt zoom cameras.
Yeah, no, they're not, for me, that's not high production. You got, like proper light and all that nonsense. I've just got a camera that goes in and out. That's about it. Can move it around. That's going to be used totally out of context.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is going to be used out of context.
Always is. I know what chat's like. They're like that. They're totally like that.
They're the evil mistress you didn't think you needed.
Yeah. Yeah. It's literally how I ended up with a clap emote.
You end up with the darndest things because of your chat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's all the things. All the
stuffs.
What? Let's have a look. We've got a couple of other things you sent me.
I can't remember what I gave you.
I know. I was going to say you sent me some other lovely things. You sent me these lovely rings that you made, like.
Yes.
Yeah, like these are like proper rings, right? Like go on your finger.
Yes.
So these are tiny.
Yes. So when I was first, maybe a year or two into doing wood turning, somebody at my wife's work had asked if I had ever done rings out of wood, because that's what he wanted as his wedding band, right? And I can't remember which one of these three was actually for them as their wedding band. Since I did them, I can't remember which one went to that person. But these were just three. One was for the person, and then the other two were just kind of messing around to see how easy I could do as a production type piece. Now this is back before. Now they have silly jigs and chucks and all sorts of stuff to make rings on the lathe. So they've made it a lot simpler since trying to make your own stuff and doing it on the lathe. They were extremely difficult to make back then, about 10 years ago, because there wasn't fancy chucks to make them and stuff. Because now they have them where you buy the little metal inner piece, and then you do a wood or acrylic outer piece, and you just slap it on there and glue it and whatever, and you're done.
So simpler.
It's so much simpler now, and they have chucks that you can put in there and do all sorts of stuff. But I mean, this was a trial and error type thing, laminating a couple pieces together of different types of wood and stuff. But yeah, those were three that I made. After those three, I never made one again because it was very difficult.
So when you put in the community challenge for making rings, then?
I do not. Well, now it's pretty simple, but back then, I wouldn't have wished that evil on anybody. I mean, granted, there was a lot of people that did them, and they figured out an easy way of doing it. Now, if I had kept with it and made a whole bunch, maybe I could have found easy ways of making it on the lathe. But I mean, I was like, I did it. The guy ordered it. He paid me for it. Boom, I'm done.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, because they do look so hard to actually make, because they're super thin as well.
Yes.
You've not got much to work with at all. Yeah.
Not much at all.
Yeah.
It's a lot of very light tool cuts and then sanding.
Yeah, because I've got a little experience working with lathe work myself. Very, very little experience. I have a lathe that I've used a few times. That's about it.
I mean, I have a lathe I've used a couple of times as well. I don't have very much experience. I barely touch the thing. So, I mean, I'm there with you.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I made some really shoddy looking plates, and that was about it.
As long as they were round and flattish, did it.
Yeah, they were flattish. They worked for what was needed. But I highly appreciate the craftsmanship that people that know what they're actually doing with a lathe properly can do with a lathe.
I don't know what I'm doing. I just wing it.
Yeah.
I'm like, here's a chunk of wood. Rah! Let's turn it. Chips, wood, round. Ah.
Yeah, totally. Oh, I like that red one as well. So was that stained, or was that an actual piece of wood that's red?
So I honestly don't remember what there. None of it's stained. All of it was natural color, but it was the wood on either side is the same, and then I laminated another piece in between that. I glued everything together, and then I turned it. Kind of like with the one on the far left, it was the same wood, but I just cut it and flipped it.
Yeah.
So it would be the alternating grain. For the life of me, I can't remember what woods I used because it's been so long. Yeah. And I have problems remembering what I had for breakfast this morning. So, yeah. But those were just like some tests I did, and then I was done it. Okay, that's it.
Perfect. Sorted. Got the t-shirt. Never doing it again.
Yes. Pretty much.
Yeah, and the final one that you'd sent me, piece de resistance, the
yes,
spice rack.
Spice rack. So this was just something the wife had come to me and said, I want a spice rack. I was like, well, that's easy enough. But what caveat to that, on the bottom there, she wanted that little spot there because she does baking as a side business. And those are all food colors, but not like food coloring, but not like the little dropper cheap food coloring everything stuff. That's like proper food coloring.
Yeah, the fancy stuff.
Fancy stuff. And she said, I want some that has, the rack on top. I want something that can hold all these individual food colorings that she had. So that's actually a little slight angle for all those perfect little food coloring containers to fit in. And believe it or not, that is not fancy wood. That is simple plywood that I distressed, stained, and glued and brad nailed together.
It's a really nice spice rack. It totally works.
I have actually made another one that I didn't send you a picture of, that minus the bottom part for the food coloring, because on the other side of the actually complete adjacent to that one is where that one's sitting, because the wife wanted more spice rack to take some of the spices out of the cupboard.
Yeah, you just need more space.
Yes.
Yeah, I totally need to make something like that just to hold all my paint cans. Where I get shouted at for.
If you only knew a guy that had a CNC that could probably make something for you. I don't know if you've ever heard of this guy, laser something or another. Yeah. I believe is his name. You might want to go talk to him. He might be able to whip you up something.
Yeah, Greek, I think. He's totally Greek. Yeah. It's totally, yeah. I'm sure he's a Greek guy. Something like that.
I've heard he might be British.
Yeah, something like that. Possibly Welsh. Maybe Irish.
Maybe. I don't know. He's definitely not Scottish.
No.
Definitely not Scottish.
Definitely not. Oh, brilliant. Yeah. Oh, I attempted to make a paint can rack that now sits on the floor and doesn't get used.
I remember you making that.
Yeah, it's made.
You put like one paint can in it, and you're like, yes,
yeah.
That's your home.
Yeah, and then the rest of the paint cans live elsewhere.
Yeah. It's all good in theory.
Yeah, totally. I'm not in the workshop at the moment, so. Oh, brilliant. Oh. So what's your future plans for your stream? What have you got planned? What?
It's just hone my skills and just make better stuff and maybe get one more or two more or 15 more cameras.
It's gonna proper 360 yourself, right?
Exactly, one in every corner on the walls. When people say, "I can't see you, pirate. I can't see you," I'm like, "Oh shit, I know you can. I'm in panoramic." And just upgrade some tools and try to make try my hand at different stuff. I do, as fun it is to do turnings and stuff. I do want to make smaller boxes. Try my hand at different types of joinery for smaller boxes and stuff like that. Because I have a box joint jig that I bought never used it. I've taken it out of the box, I put it together, and I haven't used it. So, I want to use that because when I bought it, I didn't have a proper dado stack. Now I have a proper dado stack.
Ooh.
I might as well try that and make a nice little box with some box joints, maybe do some dovetails or something, or, just try my hands at different things, different types of projects. I can't be known as the guy that only does stew bowls. As much as my chat probably wants me to, I got to branch out.
Yep.
And do,
totally.
Do some other stuff and, learn some other skills. Stuff that I know I'm not good at and probably won't ever do is wood carving, biography. I got a nice wood burner. Now, Little Pirate Helper, she has shown interest in pyrography. She has dabbled with it a few times on stream. So, if that's something that she wants to do, then I got a nice burner. But I bought it. I used it. That type of artistic skill with carving and pyrography and stuff like that, I just, it's not in me. I just can't do it. But I just want to, and then the general shop organization. I mean, when I got the I don't know which way I'm turning. When I got the new lathe, we spent a couple of streams of tearing down the old workbench, making room for the new one, and then putting up that French cleat wall there, and making a couple of things for stuff to live there on the new French cleat wall. So just shop organization, better flow, the feng shui of the shop. I mean, granted, we still need to make a cart for all my little parts organizers. They're sitting here living on the ground. So much stuffs to do, so little time.
What's this organization that you talk of? And can you send some my way?
Yeah. We both need to hire Sasaki.
Oh yeah, totally.
The king of organization. That man and his organization is just astounding, because you'll be in his stream watching him do his thing, and people will ask him about a knife scale or a dragon egg, and he'll be like, "Oh, well, I got samples," and his organization that he has for his samples that he's created for his different types of resins that he's done and castings and stuff. I'm like, good Lord. Like, when I got those parts organizers there, and I spent one stream for 5 hours going and sorting hardware, I think Sasaki was the only one watching me, because this man loves to be organized. And it was funny because that stream, I didn't realize it, but my one close-up camera I have here had it angled as such a way that one of these mason jars that was just jam-packed full of miscellaneous hardware, just all sorts of different bits and bobs, right? Was very prominent in the picture, but I didn't realize it. And apparently Sasaki couldn't take it anymore. He's like, just get to the mason jar. I need you to sort that one. It's driving me crazy. But I spent one stream just for 5 hours sorting hardware. And I think Sasaki, that stream right there, even though I'd been doing the Makers and Crafters for a while, that one right there, I think I only had Sasaki watching me, because he does love a good organizing stream.
Did say a quality organization stream right there.
Yeah, so I think for that one, people would come in and be like, "What are you doing?" I'm sorting hard. And before I could even get hardware out of my mouth, they were out of the stream. Sasaki, he stuck around for the whole thing.
Oh, now Q-Cat's try to rope Sasaki into come over to organizations over here.
You'd be like, "I got a place for you to stay. It's called my workshop. And while you're staying in there, go ahead and organize it." My wife, she just got one of those Cricut Joy machines, and she's been labeling quite a few things and doing little decals and stuff on the house. And she's like, I'm going to come out in your workshop and I'm going to label everything. I was like, but to label everything, you need to organize it. She's like, I'll organize it for you. She's like, but you can't stream. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, you're not streaming while I'm out there organizing, but I'll organize it for you. So, I'm going to hold her to it. I'll let her come out here and label everything if she wants. If she wants to organize too. I don't care. I'll let her come out here and do that.
So we'll know if you've got a week off. What's happening?
No, well, unfortunately for me, not streaming for almost 4 or 5 days is a normal because of my work schedule. Yeah. But, which I will tell you what, I hear to no end sometimes in chat. Like, if you streamed a little more regularly, we'd get them channel points and we'd get up to that 49,999 channel points.
Yeah, but well, the thing is though, is that your work does take you away for a while though, because you're an active serving member in the Navy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
Yeah. I had to get that one right.
Yeah, active duty Navy is what we call it.
That's it, right?
Yes, but I mean, there's been. I had to go down to Key West, Florida for almost a month. I wasn't streaming. And then I had to go down to Panama Beach, Florida for almost a month. Didn't have anything going on then. And then at the end of this year, all this year, I'll be gone for weeks to months at a time. But then at the end of the year, I go on a deployment for 6+ months. So there's going to be at least a half a year that I won't be able to stream.
Yeah. It's one of these things though that kind of, part of the job though, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I'll come back from deployment and my first stream, people will get a notification like, Obsessed Pirate. Who's that? We don't know what, no. Obsessed Pirate?
Yeah, no. We'll be like, yes, it's Obsessed Pirate's back. We'll have it in our calendars.
Well, by then, Twitch would automatic unfollow me from everyone. I'll be back to ground zero because, Twitch loves making people unfollow.
Oh, aye. Totally. Oh, that does. So, your work is fine with you doing streaming, all that side of things. They don't have issues with it?
Oh, they could care less. I mean, they're like, talk to people at work, like, what do you do for fun? I'm like, I do woodworking. And they're like, oh, really? And I'm like, yeah, when I do woodworking, I also stream it. Like, some of them are older and they've never heard of Twitch. And they're like, what do you mean stream? I'm like, you ever heard of Twitch? And they're like, huh? And then you explain to them. But then, you get the younger generation. They're like, Twitch, you mean video game? I'm like, no, I do not. I do woodworking. They're like, on Twitch? I'm like, yes, I do. And they're, then it turns into like, what do you mean? You up in my workshop, and I go to a website, and it live streams. And when you explain it like that, and they're like, oh, okay. What kind of wood stuff do you make? And then I could talk about that for hours because we literally have been talking about that for hours.
Yeah. So it's quite good then, because and it'd be kind of awkward if they were like, you can't stream, or they put rules and regulations in place saying, you can stream.
I mean, if I had maybe a different job in the Navy, if I was doing something different, then maybe possibly. But I do paperwork for a living. I sit in an office and do admin work for the Navy.
So yeah,
it's not super exciting.
Yeah, you're not out there driving a boat every day.
No. I sit behind a computer and I do paperwork.
Yeah.
Ooh, oh, I know it's not like, oh, he's in the Navy. What does he do? I'm like, I do paperwork, and they're like, oh.
Yeah, we're all expecting you to be like,
Okay.
proper on a boat, run around with your hat and, all that.
No,
swabbing the
there's
deck.
a lot more interesting. There's a lot more interesting jobs in the Navy than mine. Believe you me. But yeah, that's not me. That's not me. I joined the Navy when I was almost 25. So I've done the civilian world and a lot of thankless, boring, dead-end jobs. And I joined the Navy because, why not? I had grandfather retired from the Navy on my dad's side, and I had uncles and cousins in the Navy. And I was like, why not? Let me join the Navy. And here I am 15 years later, still doing it. They can't get rid of me.
Yeah, you must enjoy it. So, hey.
It's the easiest job I ever had. It's a guaranteed paycheck, which, right now is very important.
Yeah, exactly. Though Drive is wondering if pirate really works for the Navy or if he's just an actual pirate.
Well, yeah. No. Actual Navy. It's the actual Navy. Now, do I wish I had, a real tall ship, pirate ship? Absolutely. Maybe when I win the lottery. Maybe. Maybe I'll get an exact replica of Queen Anne's Revenge made for me when I win the lottery. Because, if I win the lottery, I'll have a bunch of money to spend.
This year, what is it, 90 million, 900 million, whatever it is tonight, is it?
What? Well, well, right now where I live, Mega Millions is up to $960 million. And the drawing is tomorrow night. So after tomorrow night, if you pop into my stream and you see a shitload of new tools, you'll know that I won that lottery.
Oh, brilliant. Now we're going to hit...
That will be one hell of an unboxing stream.
The most definitely. That's it. You're thinking Festools, you'll be going like bigger than Festools,
Yeah, right. Everything in here will be either Powermatic or Laguna with a whole mess of Festool tools. I'll show that Boyd. Oh, you got your one Festool.
Oh, bro. Going to get you with a deep question now. The deepest question that we can ask. The deepest question. What's your favorite DOOTNOOT?
Oh, I like vanilla cream filled donut. Or close second is the raspberry filled jelly donuts.
You're a filled man.
Yes. Because you got the regular donut, that you got that middle that's missing. That's so much wasted goodness of a donut. You got to do the whole donut, and then when you cram it with some sort of filling, that makes it so much better. It's like a donut with a surprise in the middle.
See, Q-Cat's finally happy. Finally someone has mentioned the filled DOOTNOOT.
Oh, you gotta have the filling.
Yeah.
And then, a good Boston cream donut is pretty darn good.
Okay, the final question is, could you give us some streamers that you would recommend people go check out? I know you said to go check out everybody, because everyone should check out everybody in the Makers and Crafting. But
I gotta give a big shout out, because I don't know, I don't know if you know as well, Laser, you probably do, that we have the one Discord channel that called the Craftsman's Guild.
Mm-hmm.
So we got myself, yours truly, and then we got Sasaki. Boyd, Angles, Crinks. I think that's everyone. Yes, and the Craftsman's go, you gotta check us all out. But then you got Ish, you got Insane Cerebello, Cerise,
I think people...
29 Fireflies, everyone. You know, everyone. You just got to watch all of them. But, you know, I know Bad Dad. Yes, Bad Dad. There it is. Remember it, Bad Dad. You got to go watch Bad Dad in his completely organized, non-cluttered workshop. Because the great thing about, you know, when you watch a Bad Dad stream, he's working on something, but then he gets completely distracted with somebody in chat talking about a random box that they can see in the background, and he'll go grab that box and open it. He's like, this box has been sitting here for 15 years. I wanted an auction. I opened it once, and now we're going to see what's in it again. And I paid $3.67 for this. That's what he does. And he'll get distracted for about an hour and a half going through the random box that somebody was asking him about.
Yep. Let me just get his actual numbers, because I always forget the numbers at the end of his name. There we go. There we are. 273.
But I know our Discord started with Boyd and Sasaki, but they have been gracious enough to include all of us in there, and no problem whatsoever. And it's just been a great. There's so many Discords to keep track of these days because everyone has their own Discord. I mean, I had my own. I shut mine down and joined theirs when I asked Boyd if I could join with them, because it's just, you know, it's one-stop shop for so many streamers to go in there. And we have our own little section. If you just want to go into Gangle's chat or Bad Dad's or Saki's or Boyd's or Crinks or mine, you could just talk right there in that one chat. And then, you know, and then we got the big general section. It's a great little thing that they started to get a one-stop shop for so many amazing makers and crafters.
Oh, definitely. You know, there's, you know, let's grab this. We got 26. There we are. Yep. It's you know, having Discords like that are amazing. Being able to, you know, kind of do all that sort of thing. You know, being able to chat and, you know, share, you know, all that sort of thing, and have a, you know, forming that community. You know, it's definitely a great sort of thing. Because there's
Absolutely.
also the makers community one as well that was set up.
Yes.
So there's a link to that as well.
I am in that one as well, but I am in so many Discords between makers and video gamers that if you don't say that everyone or Obsessed Pirate, I'm probably not looking at the notification because the Craftsman's Guild is the only one I have set up where I get all the notifications. Because if I tell you what, if I get set up where I got notifications from every single one of those, sweet baby Jesus, I would have so much stuff in my phone. My phone was nonstop.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Most of mine's get muted. Mute.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's certain ones where I'm like, yeah. So just let me notify it for this certain thing, and that's it.
Yes. And every once in a while, you'll be sitting there bored or something. Oh, well, let me go through all my Discords real quick and see what I missed. And you go into one, and you're like, there's 8,676 missed new messages. And you're like, okay, I'll scroll to the end and see what I missed.
Yeah. Oh, there's that, you know, like I'll check the ones out that I need to check out. But, you know, there's some that I'm like, why am I still in this one? You know,
yes.
I'm not doing anything in it. There's no point in me actually being in it. You know. You know, and there's some that I'm like, I really should be in this one. You know, I should be more active. And why am I not more active? Because there's only so many days in the week.
Yes. I heard there's only 7.
Yeah.
Could be wrong though.
Yeah, just a bit. Oh, it's kind of crazy.
It's the craziest.
So, no one's got any more questions. I think we are good. We are good.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just checking if we had any more questions there, but we are superb. Yes. Thank you so much, Pirate. You have been
thank
an
you for
amazing
having
guest. Oh, couldn't not have you. You were, you've been on my list since I started making my list. I'm like, Pirates.
I was on a list?
Oh, I've got a list. I've got a list. Yeah, so many people on this list.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever been on the list before. Usually when I go to the club and they're like, are you on the list? And they look and I'm like, nah, you ain't on the list.
Yeah. And, you're like, yep, when I asked you to do it and you're like, yep, I'll definitely get on. Yeah. And you even jumped in, kind of last minute for me as well because I had to swap things around.
Who would cancel on the laser? Oh my goodness. Who are we going to have to talk to and harass in their next stream?
Not saying. They just couldn't make it for this stream. Things turned up.
So then it's next week's person. So we'll know next week.
No, it's not. It's definitely not next week's person. Because next week's person's 29 Fireflies, and they're definitely not.
Oh, well, you know what? We're just going to have to go in there and troll her a little bit. Just,
it was not
guilty
29.
by association.
Trust me, that one. Definitely not. No, that's for sure. I'm not saying who it was, because that's unfair.
Since when is Makers and Crafters fair?
Yeah, we're not. QCat, we're not trolling the person because we're being nice to this person. They'll be on at some point, and then I'll troll them about it.
So everyone after me, we have to troll. Okay, got it. Done.
So my camera decides just to go, I'm not going to focus anymore. I'm totally not going to focus anymore.
It's telling you something, Laser.
Totally, yeah. This is troll stream. Yeah, there's no trolling, Sesquimo. There's no trolling. Totally no any trolling going on here. Oh, but thank you again. You have been absolutely amazing. So many great stories. So much great chat. Just been such a laugh. It's what I love. I love just, shooting the breeze, just talking about all the random stuff that people get up to. It's just, it's what we want, we get down to, we talk about some serious stuff, but not very much.
Well, at least we hope that this is what people wanted to watch on their Thursday night.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
With however many people decided to show up today.
Yeah, there was millions.
Because, millions.
Yep, millions.
I better check my stream. Maybe I'm up to at least, 67 people following me.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, but we're totally partnered now and all that, Yeah.
I should just wait by the mailbox for Twitch to send me my partner gear then, huh?
Exactly. But yes. We are going to be going to raid Boyd's. We're off to raid Boyd's. Oh, we have to go and raid Boyd's.
Hooligan.
Yeah.
Especially since I butchered his name.
Yeah.
Nobody tell him. Nobody tell him. Everybody mum's the word.
We won't tell him. Yeah, let's actually copy his name. That would help. That would totally help if we copied his name. That helps. There. Is it going to raid this time? Yes, we're going to raid. OBS is actually working for a change. Yes. Right. So next week's guest is going to be the ever fabulous 29 Fireflies. It's going to be great fun with her on. Just as much fun as it was with Pirate tonight.
Was it? Was it?
It was.
Was it?
It was. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. Thank you, Pirate, for being here. Guys, have yourselves all a great night, a great day. And I shall catch you all next time. Bye. And let's press the button. We're going to totally press that button. Bye. In 3, in 2, in 1. And we're raiding.